our final one of the night. And what could be better than to end off with a mega campaign fundraiser dinner speech? So Isaac was asked to play the role where you are addressing a room of mega campaign donors at a fancy fundraising dinner at the Four Seasons Hotel. You explain that societies have repeatedly reduced moral blame once causes became clear. Describe how blame can spiral into cruelty, and urge dinner guests to replace adversarial, blame seeking trials with non judgmental, truth seeking investigations, as per Professor Sapolsky's chapters 13 and 14. So that's a tall order for a MAGA fundraising dinner, and that's why we asked Isaac to do it. Isaac, over to you.
Thank you for being here at the Four Seasons for this MAGA fundraising dinner. I'm John Shillman, your keynote speaker. First of all, thank you. I know you've already given a lot to this cause, but we need you more than ever. JD and Tulsi is not going to be an easy ticket to sell. We're here to talk about getting more of your money behind MAGA, but we also want to talk to you about policy, and especially today's special topic, new directions in crime prevention. The great Peruvian coup leader and right-wing authoritarian Oscar Benavides once said, "For my friends, everything, for my enemies, the law." I've always thought this is a perfect summary for the MAGA approach to criminal justice. What does that quote mean? It means that for people like all of you, the criminal justice system is here to help. Did you do something bad in the past? We can help with a pardon. Is someone bothering you? We can sue them. And there's a lot more meat on that bone. The quote also means that our enemies will be pursued relentlessly. Enemies like illegal aliens, who we are deporting at a record pace while rewriting civil liberties law. Enemies like inner city gang members who don't stand a chance when we call in the National Guard. And maybe next year, the Army. For my friends, everything. For my enemies, the law. But as much as we like black and white distinctions in the MAGA world, tonight I want to propose a third category. They are our friends too, good Americans who share our values. But these friends are having a tough time. They are on the streets, overdosing on fentanyl and heroin, living rough, robbing pharmacies. They are doing that in the liberal hell pits of San Francisco, but also in places like Robeson County, North Carolina, and Huron County, Michigan, and so many other rural, majority white counties with opioid overdose epidemics. The thing about these people is we know it's not their fault. They are at the mercy of the cartels who bring these drugs in, but even more so, they are at the mercy of their biology and their personal history. Just like epileptics, these people suffer from a disease. And just as we don't charge an epileptic for murder when they have a seizure that kills someone, we should not be punishing these addicts when they go astray. Now, up to this point, Democrats might say something similar, but their response is to pass out syringes. It's disgusting and ineffective. In the MAGA world, we have a different vision, which I've come here to announce tonight, and it comes down to one simple word: quarantine. These drug addicts, most of whom are also mentally ill, aren't responsible for their crimes, but they are dangerous to themselves and others. So we need to put them away in a safe place. What we propose is simple. Once we finish rounding up all these illegals, we will take the same law enforcement might, which has already been mustered, and we'll round up all the drug addicts and crazy people and get them off the streets. If they can get well and prove that they are not a risk to society, they are welcome back. If not, it will be better for everyone if they are locked away. Not to punish them, mind you, but just for the societal benefit. Now you may be thinking, isn't this the same kind of thinking that drove the vaccine mandates and lockdowns? Who is the government to tell someone they can't live in a tent on the street? But we think it's totally different. Lockdowns and mandates were about limiting everyone's freedom, including your freedom, in a small way to benefit certain interest groups, basically old people. We think that's totally wrong. What we do endorse is massively limiting the freedom of a few people who we determine are dangerous to benefit everybody else. What could go wrong? So, as you whip out your checkbooks tonight, don't just think about our rampaging deportation policy or the wonderful favors that the FBI can do for you. Think of the drug addicts and the schizos and how much happier the world will be when we lock them all away. Thank you.
Isaac, thank you very much. Professor Sapolsky, I imagine that's not what you had in mind when you were drafting that chapter, but any comments or feedback?
Well, I suspect Isaac would not leave that auditorium alive, despite sort of some of the themes there. By the way, as long as we're on the issue of fentanyl, following Donald Trump's insights, screw you Canadians for pouring fentanyl into the United States. It's all your fault, as we know. Okay, this whole issue of quarantine, containment, the whole issue of how do we protect society from dangerous individuals while not doing anything more constraining than absolutely necessary and without any moralizing about it. And it's hugely difficult. It's hugely difficult, but we do it all the time. Here's an example of it. Suppose your 5-year-old is sneezing a lot. What do? You keep them home from kindergarten tomorrow because the school has this rule. Please, if your child has a nose cold, keep them home so they don't get everybody else sick. Your child is dangerous. Your child is a danger to this kindergarten society, and you need to protect them from your child. And what do? You quarantine them, you constrain them, you keep them at home. Do you tell them they have a rotten, miserable soul? That's the cause of their sneezing? Do you take their toys away? No, you do the absolute minimum. And when you look at something like that, you realize, oh, well, actually, that does kind of fit a quarantine model. I mean, nobody is looking at that and saying, oh my God, this liberal nonsense of letting kids still play at home with their toys, even though they're sneezing. You get a pilot who has hay fever, and in spring season, if they're taking antihistamines and they're sleepy, they can't fly a plane for X number of days. They are constrained from doing so, not because they have been in bed with Satan and that's the cause of their hay fever. In all these cases, we actually do it all the time, and so much so that we don't even recognize that we are using quarantine models that are completely free of insane, nonsensical moral judgments. It can actually be done.